Alright, folks, today we're just going to have a ramble and a chat about a topic which I saw on the forum, which I will jump to and showcase in a minute. And it was about YouTube, the content creation scene, and Gears of War. And I don't know where this is going to take me. This could be a 5-minute video, it could be an hour-long video. Who knows? I've got me can of Diet Coke here. You know, we're just going to chill out and have a chat about Gears, because sometimes you don't really want to do a formal video. You spend a long time editing, doing all that, and then you just kind of want to do a simple video. You're really not interested in doing another 6-hour project. Like yesterday, it was like a 6-hour video. It shouldn't be a 6-hour video, but it was 2 hours to watch it live and then watch it and think of some questions that were going to be useful. I then rewatched it again and then commentated over it for 2 hours. I then rendered it for about an hour, uploaded it from about an hour, did thumbnails, made some threads, tried to get some discussion going. It got about 600 views. That's obviously a ton of work, and people are obviously getting frustrated that, you know, they're putting in work into Gears of War and not getting views. That seems to be the topic. So we'll jump into it, right? And we're going to have just a chat, a sort of one-way podcast about it. Let me just check everything's set up. So, apologies if I play anybody's video during this. Normally I would always source their video, seek permission. I might occasionally click through some videos or thumbnails. If you do, check them out, subscribe, comment, etc. I'll try my very best to remind you to do that. So the thread on the forum, which I'll say gained a little bit of traction, it had Dana say that they wanted to do more. It was, well, I'll read it to you. It was by somebody called Control Arcana. I don't know if this is Control from the days when I was in Control with like Stotty and Jake and stuff. I don't know if that's the same Control or it's a different clan. I don't know. So I guess let's give some perspective. I have made videos since 2006. Probably 2000 end of 2000, well, sort of start of 2007, I would say. I made videos. It was with my sister's pink digital camera. I sat it on the windowsill and I aimed it at my screen. I would then record it, and then put it on my computer and try and make montages, or just not even montage. It was like a single clip, because it could record for like 10 minutes. I had to try hit the clip in the 10 minutes. If it didn't, delete. And I then was basically the first person on the internet. I think it got like 400,000 views, which for 2007 on YouTube was enormous. I did a tutorial on how you can buy a DVD player from Tesco, wire it up in a certain way that it can record you 360, record it to these discs that are rewritable, burn the disc to your computer, and then once the file is on the computer, is like a .ts DVD file. The only free program that I could find that could run it was Movie Maker. You drag the whole 2-hour damn DVD in there, pray till the Lord you 1-core processor, 1 gigahertz, no RAM, didn't crash, and desperately tried to make a montage and then wipe the disk and go again. So I've been making videos for a long time. We're now in the age where we have shadow play. It's simply a Alt F10 and it captures the last 2 minutes of gameplay. It makes making clips very easy. For other games, there are theatre modes, there are sort of .demo files where you can go in and you can do clever stuff like record every single frame as a picture so it's higher quality, like those CSGO frag movies can do. You can also do cinematics, and it's just a lot easier right now. So things have got a lot easier. Most games these days have a content creation scene. In fact, basically any game you'll ever click, there will be somebody that's made a video for it. Back in the day, that wasn't the case. That's something that to bear in mind when discussing this. So we'll read through it. We'll see what we think. Hi everyone, and mainly to TC, because this is addressed directly to you. I wanted to start by saying this is only my opinion, and it might not be 100% mirrored through the montage and community scene, and therefore anyone replying should not treat the majority as a factual part. It's just his opinion. I'll cut to the chase to save you some time. This is about the Gears montage scene. Streamers here too. The scene is completely and utterly shattered. Dead. I hate the term dead though. There are remnants of life still flickering, but it's diminishing at an alarming rate. However, when you compare the above average content upload rate now between where Gears was in its very peak and Gears 3, it's very obvious something has gone wrong. The Montage community, Gears 1, through Gears 3 poured life into the franchise, and despite Epic not capitalising on, it flourished all the way through Gears 3's lifespan. And there are still some people left to the day playing the game and recording. But ask yourself, why are they playing an 8-year-old game and not the one that's even a year into its life? There's a myriad of reasons, most of which have been addressed or have been addressed, so this thread is not the place to discuss the state of the game. It's to discuss the community. There is an unwavering support for competitive players, and frankly, even that scene is dwindling. Gears is a blockbuster franchise. Again, I'm going to respond to these points. Gears is a critical factor of why Microsoft could get an Xbox off the shelf in the hands of a consumer. I bought my first Xbox because of Gears, and 12 years later, I still love the franchise, but I find it a chore to love rather than enjoyment. And there's no support for people like me. I'm going to start by listing the best community / teams to ever grace Gears history during my experience on Gears 3, and in turn tell you if they're still around. Chaos, Avenge, Onyx, Control, Arctic Empire, Essence, change their name to Morningstar, Blame, and Vulgar Deny. So to clarify the amount of people, so basically he's saying that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these are dead. To clarify, the average amount of people watching / sub to Montage teams, old and new, are currently 5.6k. That's an average, and of course Chaos and Avenge held the majority. They would get multiple views and more engagement, but my question is, why is this amount of traffic? With this amount of traffic, why do they not upload? I watched the live stream for the competitive scene and peaked about 8k views on Twitch when I watched. To put into perspective, Chaos Gears of War on YouTube, their video has 148k, that top video. There was a clear market for it then. If you search Gears 5 and Montage, and MX Glint's Montage is the most watched at 83k. One video with such a broad term has half the amount of views. Why, if the content is good? And this game was brand new. We should have multiple videos with massive views. Search Gears 3 and the results speak for themselves. This type of content did better than what you push now, and it's okay to push the esports scene, but unfortunately that scene alone does not represent Gears. Okay, I appreciate that this is a lot, and it looks like I'm sort of bashing on you, but I promise you there is not a rant to belittle TC. I want TC to have a type of engagement from our community. It's boring that there's 4 active teams with about 60 active players combined, and barely any want to play Gears 5. I want to come back to Gears, and if they come back to play Gears, it benefits TC, if they came back. What I'm about to suggest will hopefully attract some players and give some reasons to grind and make content. It's free engagement and publicity for TC. Immediately, what needs to be addressed is weapon spawn times. That's, you know, it's great to keep them like that in competitive, but why on earth do we need 2-minute spawn times in social on weapons? Everything ends in 2 minutes anyway. Montages prefer TDM and execution. Execution does not have a weapon respawn problem, as it's 1 life since you decided to remove it. We only have TDM. And most matches don't even last long enough for 2 long shots to even spawn before we've rinsed through bullets. People are not making Gears 5 content because there is no opportunity to get clips. Talk mode takes 2 minutes. TDM rounds I play. Side note, people who reply calling me out for doing this stuff, like, save it, I don't care, I want to play Gears for clips and hitting shots and making videos. If you're not into it, that's fine. This is my hobby, and I want the company responsible for the game to hear me. So here are some suggestions from him. Let's start by asking you have weapon spawn times for the following weapons on social modes: long shot 30, M-bar 30, torque 45, boom 60, drop, nades, rifles, boltox. So they're all getting lowered. Feel free to keep ranked at whatever they already are. I believe it should be good to separate the two. The reason for these changes is more in line with the game becoming popular, content being made during Gears 3, and it would bring players back. Number 2 would be to completely overhaul the map cycle. The map rotations are absolutely diabolical. I'm sick of playing the same 3 maps in social. Keep the voting system for rank, but why don't you streamline social by having a rolling lobby? No more voting, you just queue up and find a match. This can include all maps cut out from the rubbish rotation and forcing us to play the same 5 maps in a row. I'm not a dev, so forgive me if this is a big task. However, this is a worthwhile addition. I live in District and it's boring. Number 3. And this one's easy to do. Use your social media to your advantage. I'm not saying support the team I'm in, despite how active we are. But when you have a team pull in as much as the community has avenged it, arguably the best collection this community will ever see, you have to get you have to use some of that 10k following to your advantage. You've essentially lost a 10k following on YouTube due to some of the above reasons. Someone like Raw, who's been playing this game in the community for the same amount of time, streams and gives it good on Twitter and Twitch, but why don't you support him? He's one of the most positive players I've ever met. It takes one tweet to support our best players, and I'm not including the category, and I'm not included in this category, but I'm not jealous. I want these people to succeed. Frankly, it's embarrassing when I look on Twitch and see 148,000 watching Fortnite and 300 watching Gears 5. Surely you must look at those numbers and feel the same. As a business, let me just take a drink. There's nothing more important than your consumers. Unfortunately for you guys, you are not in a position where you can stick your middle finger up at the consumer. The game doesn't pull in the player base, and esports is one of the smallest scenes I've ever seen. Content creators literally don't care about playing this game. Where should they go? COD, Fortnite, Destiny, Halo, the list goes on. You're in a position where you could quite comfortably engage not with your own community, but on a wider scale too. Twitter is where the Montage community lives, and that would be easy to engage with. The beta tune-ins I support. The ball has been dropped in other areas with quick fixes and blah blah blah. They've put you in a better position. I truly believe with the changes to the lance of the health regen, this game has the ability to be top tier, and you should capitalize on a community that gives you free views. If I made a good video on YouTube, people may want to play the game too, and in turn they make content, so on and so forth. There's abundant of people willing to support you, but it's difficult when you've killed this community off. And for the love of God, please add a theatre mode. Who edit this content so it can be professional? You would save editors so much time. At this point I'm rambling. I've said a lot of things on my mind. I'm sorry if it's not particularly articulate. I would like to make it clear once more. I'm not interested in comments in this thread telling me montages are rubbish and I'm not a good player. That's not relevant. I don't care if you don't like this content personally. I do. If we win, there are endless benefits. Think of the bigger picture. Alright, so there is also some massive other responses in there. Okay, so that is from Control Arcana, and that was his message to TC. First of all, let me start off by saying that basically it's good that people still obviously give detailed feedback. It's good that people still care and make videos. It's good that people still post stuff and actively try to help the game. I think there are certain people that let it boil over and it can become... It ends in more of a sparring match between opinions and they lose track of the actual main point. I think that's what Arcane is trying to say is, don't have a go at me or the montages, just remember the actual point I'm trying to make here. Alright, so that was a very long post. And I'm going to try, I guess, just give some thoughts because I guess I'm, quote, a content creator. I guess at this point, I guess that's what you'd call me. So, how do we break this down? He says that the game peaked in Gears 3, and it's very obvious something's gone wrong, basically because there's no views anymore on Gears. I would agree that it probably peaked in Gears 3 in terms of viewership, but I think you need to also look at some, I guess, correlated things, some corresponding things. I would probably argue that montages in general, around the Gears 3, midway through the Gears 3's lifespan, montages and commentary were sort of ruling YouTube at that point. You know, not just Gears, like everything, Call of Duty, all of that stuff. You know, that was the sort of era of the time. And there's no divine right for a game to stay at the peak or at the top. They have to work for it. You know, you might look out with a few things, kind of like footballers. You might look out and buy a few cheap players that turn out to be brilliant, and you somehow get to the top. But if you want to stay at the top, you have to work hard, invest, keep the scene alive. And I will agree that from my experience, I've never once had any help making content on this game. But, and bear in mind, I don't follow the scene that carefully in terms of content. In fact, I don't really follow anyone on Twitter from Gears of War. I'm not subscribed to anybody bar 1 or 2 channels. And from my sort of perspective, from Gears 1, 2, 3, I would argue that one of the reasons the game was so popular was because everybody was consistently uploading, and they sort of acted like content creators. And that coincided with the way YouTube worked. YouTube was in a different time, different algorithms, the way content was viewed was different. Twitter wasn't the biggest thing, YouTube was like the main way. Reddits weren't really that big at the time. Discord wasn't a thing, like sharing Discords. Esports at that point was still in its infancy. Battle Royales weren't a thing. It was a completely different time zone, and I think we need to remember that Gears was the top, I will say one of the top console games with a thriving scene naturally around it. We made videos, people made videos, but I would argue that very few, I know I kind of just said the opposite, but I would sort of argue very few people actually upload content in a, quote, content creator's way. Most of the scene from Gears of War in my history, and this is just my experience, people didn't really do YouTube commentaries, right? There was a few channels that did them, but people will agree, Gears 1, 2, and 3, where people were doing Call of Duty commentaries and gameplay commentaries and putting their personality out there, people didn't really do that. It was about clips and video montages. And as a result, the community, although popular, if that montage scene dwindled, there wasn't really anybody that had built themselves up to be a personality or a community to keep their popularity and views up. Does that make sense? Now, there will be some outside edge cases, yeah, but for the most part, I think people would agree that most people just uploaded clips, didn't really promote themselves, they didn't upload daily, they didn't have schedules, they didn't do cool thumbnails. It was just very much, here's a montage, give it a load of likes and comments because these were some insane clips, and that was it. And then maybe 2 months down the line, maybe the next day, there'd be another montage. You didn't know. It wasn't really a content creator's lifestyle. It was just people uploaded videos because they got views, they enjoyed doing it. And what we're saying here is that TC and I guess Gears in general haven't supported that. Yeah, I tend to agree, but I would also say through Gears 1, 2, and 3, the Call of Duty scene was kind of similar. And I'll be honest, like, none of the companies really, quote, helped the montage scene. The way the landscape was and stuff, it was just game developers kind of made their game, minimal updates, minimal interaction. They didn't have like Twitter accounts. They weren't doing like, didn't have a Drake doing a concert, did they? They didn't have these things. It was very much, here's our game, here's our fan base, we'll try to take care of like the really bad bugs, maybe do a bit of balance tweaking, maybe we have the odd, you know, hosted tournament from like the community, like a hype festation or a COD event. Maybe there was a bit more money in the COD scene. Well, a lot more money, but I wouldn't sit here, or I couldn't sit here and say, oh, the reason Call of Duty is still popular is because the developers actively helped promote the montage scene, because they didn't really. Most of those montages from Call of Duty still, they don't really do Call of Duty montages. They mostly do commentaries. It's just the landscape has changed. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. If I go to Call of Duty montage and I go this week, you can see 6 days, 2 days, 3 days, 3 days, 2 days, 3 days, 2 days. 8 views, 50 views, 12 views, 4 days ago. There's some videos going up, but not every video is popular. But the reason Call of Duty sort of exploded past Gears' fame is because they had personalities. And like I said, Gears people, for the most part, have never really put their personality out there, apart from a few people. It was mostly clips. And you look at Gears 5, there are still people uploading 6 days ago, 22 hours, 4 days, 6 days, 3 days. It's a very similar. People are still always uploading. It's just one is getting views because there's more of them, right? When there's more, there's always going to be some breakout things. So the question is, why are there still more COD montages that are making it? And again, I think it's come down to that evolution of how they make content. I still don't think Gears 5 people make content in probably the way they should, or Gears 4, etc. And I'm not saying how you should make content, because I'm blooming useless at it. But I don't think the reason the game is currently dead montage-wise is because the developers don't help. I think the developers could help, yes, but I think it's more of a natural, people are bored of Gears of War and watching it, and they've been there and done that, rather than some major, basically, fuck up by a developer. There is no real help from the COD scene. Halo might have done MLG top plays, but Halo didn't really, they had the file share system, which was huge, but towards the end of Halo, they didn't really promote montages. It all dwindled out. So I would argue that Gears just fully dwindled out, and it needed to evolve. It reached its peak in Gears 3, and in Gears 4 and Gears 5, it needed to evolve. I don't think the issue was that the TC aren't helping, or Epic Games aren't helping montages and commentary people. It's more that the game is still the same game, basically from 2006. Really, if you want to be, you could say, oh, COD's the same, but COD, Battlefield, it's evolved. It's evolved from small time graphics to huge 64 player versus 64 player. There's a battle royale game. There's an esports scene. Blah blah blah. Halo has sort of come out now cross-platform. That's booming. It's got the old Master Chief collection. Call of Duty's innovated this battle royale, and it's got the most successful battle royale ever, pulling in billions of pounds from mobile apps, all different platforms, with a truly, I won't say truly innovative battle royale, but it's a spin on a very popular new thing. Gears of War is still Gears of War. It's a third-person game where basically it's sometimes a bit laggy. Sometimes you shoot some people and they die, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes the lobbies are uneven, and it's just basically you kill them and that's it. There's no other level of depth to it. There's a few objective-based modes, but it's pretty much the exact same game. If you showed somebody Call of Duty 2 and then showed them Warzone been played on an iPad with somebody jumping out of a plane and then resing their teammates and having 50 players fight inside a huge building, they'd be like, well, this is a different game. If you showed somebody Gears of War 1 and then showed them a match of Gears of War 1 execution, and then showed them a match of Gears 5 execution, people would be like, oh yeah, this is the same game. Bar some few changes. And you could argue that's the developer's fault, that they didn't innovate their game. And that is a fair point, I would say. But I'm because this is specifically saying that TC need to step it up. I don't really think TC do need to step it up, and this is coming from somebody that doesn't get really any help and has a small YouTube channel. I just think that the game hasn't evolved, and people don't want to watch it anymore. And that, like, there are still people that want to watch it, but in the grand scheme of things, it's... Think about this. The people that have played Gears 1, 2, and 3 from their prime and grown up and become montages and made montages and done videos, they've all grown up now. Do they then want to spend the later years of their life making montages on Gears 4 and 5 when it's basically the same stuff? You upload a video, you record clips for weeks and weeks and weeks to try get good standards that people care about. You record for weeks and weeks, months and months. You finally bring it out, and like, you know, let's be honest, Gears of War 1, Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3, an average decent montage, you probably get 2 to 3k views. Yeah, there was some that blew up. There was some that got posted on big channels, like maybe 10k, 50k, or 100k. They're rare. There was some 300k that might have got in the algorithm when it was super popular. But again, most people uploading would have a small channel, good fan base, these type of figures, and get, you know, similar sort of results. Like a 5k view montage would be like a great thing in Gears 2, 1, and 3. I don't think people would disagree with that. And it's just that the game hasn't evolved, and as a result, the viewership isn't currently there because all the old eyes have left. Not because TC have, quote, sort of ruined the game from a content creation standpoint. People are just bored of it. Would you honestly, let's say in an alternate universe, TC start tweeting out gameplay commentaries and montages every day. Here's a great commentary. Here's a great montage. What they've also got to be wary of is, I know people won't want to hear this, but let's say, for example, I make a really brilliant montage, and then or someone else makes a really brilliant montage or whatever, and they recommend it, and then somebody digs through their past and they're like, this person said this on this date and TC is supporting them. This person was a piece of shit back in the day and now they're supporting them. This person, you know, this person did a gameplay commentary. They didn't fully listen to the full 15 minutes. They said something a bit wrong in there, or they did something a bit wrong, and they've got to be careful about what they promote and who they promote, because the way the world is, that's the truth as well. They can't just randomly promote everyone. There's a reason why certain people, you know, in gaming, some people get packages, don't they? They'll get a free chair. There was some woman that got it was like a PlayStation God of War specific thing, and it's because they're unbelievably PC, PR friendly, big smiles, positive. They reflect well on the brand. They're a bit fake, but you know, that's how they promote nowadays, through those types of things. You need to be careful with that. So that's also something to bear in mind, and why I think that they're a bit nervous to do that. I'm not saying that's the specific reason they're not doing it, but what I'm saying is, like, the landscape's changed again. I'm just trying to paint this image of, like, it's changed a lot. Again, he says that Gears is a critical factor as to why someone could buy a console. Yeah, back in the day, maybe, but I don't want to be disrespectful to, like, the game, because I obviously play it and enjoy it. It's not a blockbuster franchise. People see Gears of War and go, nice, another Gears of War game. Cool. I might pick it up on Game Pass, play the campaign. It's not the console seller it once was. Well, I've watched all of the Xbox reveals. Not once. There's been some showcases of how Gears 5 is going to improve on the Xbox Series X. There's been some clips of, like, Kate and stuff. But it's not the we're going to run a primetime TV advert in the middle of X Factor showing the Corpser. It's not that primetime game that's going to make everybody buy an Xbox. These days, people buy an Xbox just because of price, Game Pass, ease of use. There's a load of other things. They're more of like a software selling company. There are still huge games, but they're launching an Xbox right now with basically no first-party title ready at launch, no real big exclusives, and yet the Xbox will still be a success. The landscape has changed dramatically. No longer is it, here's the one blockbuster game that's going to sell our console. I mean, look at this, Halo Infinite, right? They're just like, yeah, the quality isn't good enough, we're going to delay it. But they're still going to release their console without Halo, without a brand new Gears game, without a brand new exclusive that we've seen so far. It's just shifted a lot, the landscape in gaming, and no longer is a game the absolute selling point. It's like a package that you buy in now. That's slightly off topic, but again, it's just worth noting that I don't know, it's this type of thing here. This is, I'm just looking at it from my perspective. This is just effectively his opinion. He's saying these are the best YouTubers ever, none of them post anymore. I could probably do a different list and say here are some other great content creators that still do post. Gold Glove, you could say, was the biggest Gears person that's made it. You've got that Nick Merckx guy. So you could argue that they're still active, they just don't play Gears anymore. And again, probably just because they're bored, there's better things to do, better experiences, and that's not because TC aren't promoting them. Again, if TC started promoting every single day, here is a montage to watch, here is a gameplay commentary, how many people would actually tune in? Be honest with yourself as well. If Gears of War tweeted tomorrow and said, I can't think of an example, right? I'll think of one off the top of my head. Shadows, MX Raw, because I interact with those a lot. Those are just the first two ones that spring to mind. If Gears of War tweeted, oh, MX Raw Shadows has got a new dev stream, or he's got a new gameplay commentary, or, I can't think of any of the names, so I don't really watch anyone else, but called Couple, how many people would tune in? And be honest with yourself. Like, I probably would see that tweet, and even though I know the guys, I probably wouldn't click the tweet and be like, yep, I need to sit down and watch a gameplay commentary, because I don't really do that anymore. Most people, even the COD scene, don't really do gameplay commentaries. It's more highlights with moments and chats and live streaming, and it's, yes, TC could do a much better job. The Gears of War YouTube page is tragic. I could run that better. Hand it over to me, give me some ideas, I'll run it. The Gears of War YouTube page isn't good, I'll be honest. Now, there's loads of things they could do, but I think the reason the game's dead isn't because of these small things. It's not because long shots don't spawn too quick. Yeah, I agree that maybe if there was some classic Gears of War weapons, people would enjoy it a bit more, but for me, that's not the reason. I don't think the game's dead because of any sort of balance. We've had broken things in Gears 1. Gears 3, we had the retro sword off on, non-dedicated servers at times with awful matchmaking, at times, and people still played it and made clips. The balance of a game doesn't really stop people playing as much as people say it does. It kind of doesn't, to be honest. Unless it's massively different, And Gears is still pretty close to being Gears. Stuff like this, I'm just giving my opinion. Changing the maps, yeah, maybe you don't want to play District a lot, and maybe it's a map cycle, but making it a map cycle, is that going to suddenly make people montages and grow the scene? Not really. I think the way this scene needs to be grown is the game comes out and it innovates and it gets fresh eyes on the game. And then when the fresh eyes are on the game, then you help promote some things, maybe TC promote some things. But again, honestly, scenes naturally grow. That's just how it happens. I sound like a broken record, but I do think TC could do better, but I just don't think it's TC's fault that people don't watch Gears anymore. We have this one, for example. Frankly, it's embarrassing when I look on Twitch and see 148,000 people watching Fortnite, which, let's be honest, it's more like 2 million when there's a tournament, and 300 watching Gears 5. Surely you must look at these numbers and feel the same. But again, I don't see that. When I see Gears 5 with 300 viewers, what I see is this game isn't interesting to watch. The people that are streaming it aren't interesting to watch. That's what I see from my perspective. And I include myself in that because I stream it and I'm probably not bloody interesting to watch. Right? But I'm not going to blame TC for that. When I look at the Gears of War section, I'll be honest with you, every 99% of the streams have no camera. I don't want to watch a stream with no camera. I want to know who's playing the game. I want to have a show. I want to be entertained. You know, I'll try my best to put on my camera, have some laughs, play for a few hours, and then turn my stream off when I think it's going to be boring. Some people grind for 13 hours straight with their screen off trying to get masters. I'm not interested in that. I'm really not. And the reason I make this point is because viewing figures, again, as much as people think Twitch is like the be-all and end-all, it's not. How many people watch FIFA on Twitch? Right now, FIFA 20. Now, I know the game's kind of dead. It's coming to the end of its year. Alright, 10,000 people watching. There are 5.5 million people that follow FIFA 20. And there's only 10k people streaming it. Would you say FIFA's a dead game? Because 10k is nothing. 10k is like... I think Dr. Disrespect got 500k on YouTube. You know? 10k is a drop in the ocean. But why does FIFA keep going? Because some scenes really aren't bothered about the YouTube. That's like a bonus. And I just don't think that going off Twitch viewers is it's an okay indication. Maybe there was nobody streaming at that time. But, you know, let's look at Fortnite. Fortnite Twitch. There are 130,000 people playing. Now, how many people actually are... There are 130,000 people watching. I wouldn't say that's a lot of people in the grand scheme of things. 130,000. How many people play Fortnite? You've got your tablet, you've got your Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, PC, tablets, phones. You've got all these people playing Fortnite, and because sometimes people just get bored of watching it. Fortnite will still be popular, but the buzz has gone from the game. That just kind of happens, and it's up to the devs to innovate the game, not so much prop up the scene. I feel like, anyway. I'm trying to think of some other examples. Let's look at Gears 5 just for interest. 350 people. We go no camera. This one that looks like there's some event going on or something that's kind of interesting. No camera, no camera, no camera. Playing the campaign, it looks like, so not interested. No camera. Watching a Twitch stream. Camera. We've got one there. These two look like more interesting stream. Looks like he's watching a movie. No camera. No camera, no camera, no camera, no camera. Campaign. You know, I just don't think that the reason people are not watching Gears is because TC aren't telling them to. People make their own... Like, here's how I see it. People are their own people. They make their own mind up. When something's boring, they don't want to watch it. Right? They don't want to watch it. And at the moment, I think Gears is boring to watch. And I always say it. I say it on my own stream. I used to say it when I played Path of Exile and I streamed it. I don't enjoy watching Gears of War. I do not watch Gears of War. I make Gears of War videos and I enjoy playing it. But I don't enjoy watching Gears of War. I think it's an awful, boring game to watch. Honestly. 99% of the Gears games are boring. Yeah, there are some back and forth ranked King of the Hill games that I enjoy watching. Maybe the odd clan match or something, but vast amount of Gears is boring. There's blood all over the screen. The camera moves a lot. It's not really conducive to esports, which is another thing. I won't go into topic with that because I've actually got a whole separate video, but when we mention the fact that that esports is dying as well, that's, again, primarily down to the game not evolving and people just getting bored of it. Same old, same old. Also, it's visually a crapshoot to watch. Overwatch had this problem, and then they gave everybody like similar matching team jerseys, and then different coloured abilities were going off, and they cleaned everything up, so it was like everything was white with like the Florida Knights uniform versus the blue with all blue abilities, and you have to really work hard to make your game visually and competitively interesting to watch. You do. That's something you work on as a developer. And again, it's not really promotion. Yes, promotion plays a part into it, I think, but I personally think the main reason the YouTube and content creation scene is dead is because YouTube and content creators on Gears 5 have been doing the same things since 2006. And it's same old. You know, yes, TC probably should maybe occasionally tweet out some stuff, but I don't see other gaming devs doing that. And that's the thing, I judge it off other games. Like, yes, TC, if their life depended on it, could do a lot more. Nobody's doubting that. But I don't really see any other games massively promoting commentaries, people. Yeah, there are the very, very occasionally, like Fortnite might say this is a fire edit and tweet. But they're also doing that because they know it will get views. And I know that sounds awful, but building a theatre mode like we've asked for here, I've said it before, I asked on the dev stream, they said it takes a ton of time. It's entirely different to the way the game's built now. It would have to be rebuilt to have a theatre mode in. Be honest with you, like, you've got to be honest with yourself. If there was a theatre mode in the game, right now, fully working theatre mode, you could save clips, go in and do... How many people would make montages? Like, let's say 1,000 people, which, let's be honest, is probably like, for me, there's probably like 100 PC players. Let's say 1,000 people start making montages a day. 99% of them are going to suck anyway. They're still going to have that 1%. And then, is that 1% interesting? You know, most people don't subscribe or watch just for a one-off video, I feel like. These days, it's changed. People subscribe to personalities and sort of highlights and stuff like that. You might, like, for example, sometimes I'll watch a montage occasionally, but for other games, but I won't really subscribe. I'll just think, yeah, that was a cool video, and I'll just move on with my life. I don't really subscribe for montages. Montages don't interest me that much. I can tell from my own videos that videos where I put my own personality out there and talk a little bit get far more views than I actually make a montage. I think my montage is great. But there's also the last thing I want to speak about, and I know I'm talking here because it's all off the top of my head. I think montages are great. I think I've got one of the best montages that I've seen. I'm not saying it's the best. Clips or cool bouncing, but I think it's edited well. Everybody that tuned in seemed to enjoy it, but there aren't people tuning in. Why is that? And I'll be honest as well, people don't tune in because people don't watch Gears, and people don't watch Gears because it's boring for the most part. For every one good montage video, like, or okay montage video that I've made, there's like 5,000 bad, boring videos, right? I'm not bigging myself up here as well. I'm just saying that I've watched a lot of these because on my YouTube, on my Twitch stream, we will watch montages. We've done it before. We've watched people's montages to see what other people are up. We like and comment, you know, and I do think there's that element as well, that when you go on a Gears 5 montage and you filter, like today, let's have a look at today's montages, if they're an actual montage, people... How do I word it? People not don't do as they say, but they're not practicing what they preach. They're basically saying, yo, give us all these tools and the montage scene will come back, the content creation scene will come back, we'll be the big figures again, we'll all get 300,000 views on a montage. When really, a scene grows and gets those tools when it deserves it. And I know that sounds brutal, but at the moment, people aren't watching Gears for a specific reason. Like, if I go to this dude's video here, this could be the greatest montage of all time, right? This could be the greatest montage of all time. But there are no comments. And what used to happen back in the day is on Gears 1, 2, and 3, when people were legitimately interested, like content creators themselves were interested, they would watch other people's montages, even random montages, to like see what other people are up. This guy's got like I know people will know what I'm talking about. You might have had a channel and you might have watched a 10 viewer montage and thought that was awful, but I really liked that edit he did at the 2-minute mark, and I'm going to copy that. Or I'm going to watch a Nasher only mini-tage, and you know, this guy's got 1,000 subs, it's got 21 views. I'm the same, I have 10k subs. Most of those aren't from Gears, so they don't really watch, but I don't get many views. I get like 2k, 1k, 2k views. I get basically nothing in the grand scheme of things. People don't enjoy watching Gears, and I fully understand it. I don't get butthurt by it, and I'm not saying these people are butthurt. I'm not saying that. I'm saying there are some that get really rustled that they're not getting views, and they're not watching Gears themselves. So I try to think of myself as the viewer. I don't watch Gears because I think it's boring to look at. I think I've been there and I've done it, and there's no, I guess, yeah, there's no cool thing. Maybe the theatre mode would help, but you know, if I'm not sat watching montages, I can't really preach and say, like, I'm just saying it from my point of view. I can't preach and say we need theatre mode, we need this, we need TC to come out and promote people, we need TC to come out and tweet this guy's video, because if I'm not watching it, other people aren't watching it, and there's a reason for that. I always think that. I always think there's a reason why people stop watching stuff, and it's not because something stops getting promoted. You know, it's just, I think there's just become a general boredom with the game. It hasn't changed much. It's improved and it's tweaked and it's modified, but it hasn't changed all that much. They said, for the love of God, please add a theatre mode. People who edit this content can make professional looking content. You would save editors so much time. Again, I don't want to be a dick, but it's not TC's job to save the editor time. If the scene was there, I'm trying to find the comment. There was a YouTube link here, right? Somewhere. Is it here? Right. So this video here, apparently, I've not watched it. This video is apparently the greatest Gears video of all time. Right? Apparently TC didn't promote this because they illegally or whatever acquired files that allowed them to create cinematics that shouldn't be possible in the game. So they didn't want to promote that because then that would promote people doing the same, trying to find the tools, breaking the game. And I understand that. They can't really promote something that promotes illegal files. People saying, oh, forget it, you should do it anyway. It looks cool. Maybe. But I can also fully understand TC not wanting to, or, you know, whoever was at the time, TC or whatever, not wanting to show Microsoft, yo, here's some people that have stolen your game files and made cinematics, no matter how cool they look. I can understand why they didn't do it. Now, personally, if I was a game dev, I'd probably go, you know what, these boys are clearly massively passionate. Yeah, they've got some files. They haven't done anything sketchy with it. Let's promote them. You know, I can understand that. But my point, the reason I'm pointing this out is apparently this is incredibly professional. Like, these type of cinematics here that aren't typically normally possible, this would be like what a theatre mode would be able to do. So this is, quote, arguably the greatest Gears 3 video of all time. But it's only got 15k views. It's been heavily liked, you know, so everyone that watches it seems to enjoy it, but the scene isn't there, and I don't think the scene isn't there because you can't do professional stuff, you know. We've seen here that if you can do professional stuff, people will still tune in and like it and watch it, but there's not that viral element. Like, there's not that element that's going to take a Gears of War montage or a commentary and be like, yo, this is so good, this is going to start trending on YouTube. This is going to absolutely blow up. You know, there might be the very, very rare video that does that, but, you know, it's difficult. It's difficult. I think, for my personal take, hot take, forget everything. Forget TC, forget theatre mode, forget all of that stuff, right? I think one of the main reasons people don't watch Gears of War, and I'm just going to be honest, is I'll give my perspective because I can say it. There is a reason. There is a reason that since coming back to Gears of War, I have not collaborated with anybody. I think I probably could have collaborated with some people. If I really tried my heart out, I could probably collaborate with some people. Maybe some people want to collaborate with me. I don't know. I had somebody called Shepherd Gaming. He had like 50,000 subscribers. I should have probably collaborated with him when he asked me. I didn't. Why? Dumb business move. I like to keep myself to myself. I don't like to have ties to people when related to Gears of War. Shepherd Gaming's a bit different. He's not a Gears of War guy. He's a content creator that sometimes does Gears videos. He seems a chill guy. I'd probably go on his podcast, right? But actual Gears channels, I don't typically go on them ever because I think, and again, sorry, I'm just giving my opinion, most of them are dicks. Most of them are rude. Most of them are pretty toxic. Most of them are pretty two-faced. Most of them won't back up other people. Most of them are... They don't want to lose their share of the small pie. There is a small pie of Gears of War. People don't want to lose their little portion that they've got and risk upsetting the thing. You know, we go back to the comment of Moo Moo Milk coming out and saying to me, I want to physically break your ankles. To my 300,000 subscribers, if you find this guy, go and find this guy and physically hurt him, right? There wasn't a single person, not a single person, apart from I think one or two that I won't even mention their names just in case they don't want to be mentioned. There wasn't a single person that came out and said, actually, this guy's a decent bloke. He does some alright videos. You've clearly misunderstood what he was saying in the video here. He's not attacking you in any way. He's clearly a decent guy. Yo, you should chill. Nope. Everybody stayed in their lane. Everybody didn't want to upset, you know, the hierarchy, right? Well, I don't give a fuck. I have no ties to anybody. I think Mima Milk's a fucking dick. Why? Because he said that. He didn't do any apology. He hasn't tweeted at me. He hasn't reached out. So to me, you get one opportunity, it's gone. I don't care how many subscribers you've got. I'm myself, you know. So, and then when I see other people not reaching out, not helping, I think to myself, yeah, that's a mark against you. One more mark. We're never interacting again. Because that's how I work, basically. You get like one chance. Because the scene's so small. You know, the scene's so small that how do I word it? There's not like millions of dollars on the line where I need to keep everybody, right, I need to keep this guy here, he's useful, need to keep this guy here, he's useful. No, I'm just like, yo, I like making videos. If this guy's been a dick, I'm not gonna interact with him. Like, I do this as a passion project, you know? So I think a lot of the reason is most of the people don't resonate with the current quote population, and I'll be honest, some people might agree with me, some might disagree. With trying to get involved in the Gears of War scene right now, if you're a brand new player, difficult. It's really hard to resonate with anybody. You've got like hardcore montages, which are like, you clips of shit, fuck off. You've got super casual Joes that make crap videos or love making videos, but they're not great, but they're happy, welcoming communities. Those are the guys I like. I like when I go on a small channel or a channel, no matter what the size is, and they're welcoming, they chat. That's what I like. I don't like when there's this elitist attitude, there's this stuck-up attitude, there's this cliquey attitude of, I'm friends with this guy who's friends with this guy, we have a montage group, we don't let anybody in, we don't promote, we're a clan, we do this, we do that. I feel like Gears of War is like, everyone's fighting over crumbs, and it's like, everybody's fighting over crumbs. There's montage clans, there's video clans beefing with each other on Twitter. There's people stream, you know, I see people throwing shade. I've seen people that come on my videos, on YouTube videos, and be really nice. I'll go and lurk their timeline on Twitter. I'll see them interacting, talking shit about other people, throwing shade here and there. There's I'm not going to name names. There was one the other day, and I was like, oh, Interesting. You hang around with those people that actively and publicly have said stuff about me. Clearly, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, I personally find that the Gears of War scene is very unwelcoming, and that's another reason why people don't get involved. Because people want to be in a community. You're in a Fortnite community, you're playing customs, it's fun, you're doing this, making videos, making friends in Discords, blah, blah, blah. Gears of War isn't welcoming. That's another thing. Yeah, so I don't really know where this video is going. I just wanted to chat. I don't even think I've made any points, to be honest. I think if I was to do this again, I'd make a much better video. But sometimes I just want to do these like ramble podcasts. Look, I just don't think people want to watch Gears of War. I'll be honest with you. I don't think it's anything TC are doing wrong. Could TC do more? Yes, every company could do more. Again, let's go to Fortnite YouTube. And let's go to Fortnite Twitter, right? I've never been on this, so we don't know what we're going to look for. Sale, skin. There's a tournament there. A tournament, skin. Something to do with the game. Legal response. Skin. A promotion from Shark Week. Here's a skin. Shark Week. I'm not seeing anything. Here's one. Here's a retweet. Here's a funny clip retweet. There's the first one. Maybe Gears of War could do some stuff where they do a few retweets of some clips. Yeah, absolutely. But look, this tweet here, this isn't the reason why Fortnite's booming. This isn't the reason why there's a content scene. It's not. You know, it's very, very few and far between. We can see there's basically nothing. There's been one clip in about a month that's been retweeted. And it was because it tied in with a promotion. So, you know, it's not like other devs are doing something. Here's the next one, another month later. You know, so yeah, occasionally, but this is something to a no sweat tip. So this is like a specific event thing they're running. But why do you think this has 1K retweets? It's not many. It's got millions of followers. Nobody's really interested in that. There's not many likes either. And the only reason it's got that many is because it's a popular game. And why is it a popular game? Not because of people retweeting clips. It's a popular game because it's fun, it works, and it innovated. You know, people might bash on Fortnite, but it massively innovated the game. Completely changed the way games are built, made, socialized, everything. That's why it's got retweets. It's got nothing to do with the clip. It's got to do with the fact that people will retweet anything that's popular, right? We go to their YouTube page. Let's have a look. This is about their lawyer thing. So we have some esports stuff. Yeah. Some skins. Battle pass. Some more tournaments. And some new showcases. That's it. 4 months. Not that many videos. 2, 4, 6... 12, 18, 24, about 24 videos in about 3 months. And yet they have 10 million subs. You know, you could argue, right, Fortnite, your game's dropped in viewer count a bit. You need to do some retweets of some clips. You need to get a better theatre mode. You need to give us more angles. People are bored of what they're seeing. Yeah, every games company could do better. Sure. But the reason your game ends up popular and reaches like a level of Fortnite, and I'm using Fortnite as the example because he mentioned it as Twitch views, for me, has nothing to do with the way they promote people's content. It's to do with how much it sort of innovates, blows up. Yeah, Fortnite probably got way up there because it offered enormous prize money at the beginning, you know? But that's tournaments, that's a different ball game. So, you know, you've also got this as well. You know, people saying, yeah, TC started promoting Clip of the Week. from players who submitted a clip. This was generally a good idea, but the issue was that the clips that were being highlighted were horrible. Well, again, you can't win, can you? If it was that interesting, people would have kept watching it, and people could have gone, yo, I'll carry on watching this if the clips are better judged. But really, games companies aren't stupid. If there ain't the market there for it, they ain't going to waste their time. Like, I'm just going to be brutal. Like, Gears of War, like, montages, they're not worth TC invested in. They're just a bonus. Yeah, they could do some retweets if somebody goes out and goes out of their way and makes a cool montage. They could probably do a retweet. They could probably say, hey, anybody else hit any cool clips? I'm going to retweet them. Clip Tuesday. Post up your best Gears clip. I don't know. The way I just see this is, we talk about, there's someone here talking about standards. Oh, the standards aren't good enough. Again, for me, the reason people aren't watching Gears isn't because the clip standard's bad. It's not true. It's because, again, for me personally, on my own personal level, people don't resonate with the community. That's what I feel like. Like, what's this? Why do you think these are all the popular ones? You know, there is... I got 53,000 views on this one. Why? I had no subscribers. So there's clearly 53,000 people interested. Why did 53,000 people watch that video and not watch and why did 15,000 people watch the world's greatest Gears 3 montage? Because this video resonated with the community more. I don't think people resonate with montages and gameplay commentaries anymore. I just don't think that's what they want to see. Here he is. This video was with Shepherd Gaming. You know, this video resonated with people. Gears multiplayer's insulting to the fans. You know, these are videos that resonate. Like, and these are people that are passionate about the game. So you could argue, right, well, there's 70,000 people. There's 70,000 potential people that still want to watch Gears content. No. There are 70,000 people that watched this because it resonated that the game has changed. There are 50,000 people that watched my video. Does that mean there are 50,000 people that want to watch me make montages? No. It means that 53,000 people thought, yo, I used to really like Gears of War. It's definitely changed. It doesn't mean everybody then wants to make content or watch content. There's only a small percentage of people that watch content and create content for any game, be it Fortnite or anything, and then there's an even smaller amount that get promoted. And the reason you know, the Gears scene's small is because there isn't enough people actually wanting to make content. Why? The percentage doesn't change. There's always only a small percent of people that want to make content and make it regularly and be a quote content creator. But the difference is, if you have 10 million players, 2% is a lot bigger than your 2% of your 300 Twitch viewers doing it, right? So the way Gears of War, for me, makes content creation and stuff viable is you grow your game. And how do you grow your game? You grow your game on a fundamental level, not changing weapon respawn timers. Yes, that can help, I agree. Probably should have some more classic weapons. Less overkill and enforcer and more snipe versus boom, please. But you grow your game on a fundamental level. You improve the tutorials. You improve the way the AI handles. You improve horde card descriptions. You improve training levels. You improve matchmaking and content gating, meaning this person can't play ranked until they're ready for it and then they don't have an awful experience. Right now, you get into Gears of War, everything's kind of available to you at once. You get overwhelmed, you get smashed by people. People in the scene are pretty toxic, the community is kind of toxic, and people think, whoa, I do not want to be involved in that. You know, I always say it, 3 million people played the game on Game Pass. The reason... Someone just followed whilst I'm offline, yo, thanks for that, Mystic. The reason 3 million people left the game... Do you think 3 million... Be honest with yourself. Do you think 3 million people left the game because TC didn't promote the Montage or community scene? Do you think 3 million people left the game because it's bloody difficult? There's no explanation. The servers were crap. You know, people were probably talking shit in game. It was generally a pretty mediocre experience. Probably people that have played Gears of War 1 and 2 probably picked up Gears 5 on Game Pass and thought, this is kind of the same game. Not really too much innovation here. I can't be bothered to learn a third-person cover-based shooter, just like I couldn't be bothered to learn it in 2008. I'm just going to play the campaign a bit, play it on Game Pass a bit and leave. You know, that's the way it is, I feel like. So I don't think TC need to do any necessary content creation improvements. Yeah, they could do. I'm not saying they can't or they won't. I'm saying that for me, like, the way you make your scene a lot bigger is you make the game a lot bigger. And how do you make the game a lot bigger? You resonate with people. You resonate with the fans. You build a game that people remember, and then you can add the sprinkles on top, the theatre mode. You can help the content creators. You can run some tournaments, but there's no point doing all of this when you don't have a player base, you know? I can't think of a game off the top of my head, but like, let's say Battalion. Here's a game. Battalion. If I could type Battalion 1944. Right? This is a game that was played by Shroud. This was a game that has everything. It's got the theatre mode. It's got the hardcore skilled gameplay. It had the lot. Right. And we go to all time. It peaked at 20,000 people, which might not sound a lot, but 20,000 people playing the game is quite a lot, right? 20,000 people played the game. It's got a theatre mode. The community is ran by a COD 4 pro. He retweets everything, right? Why does it have 5 players online? Actually, 5 players. There are probably more developers than players, right? Look at the numbers. I tweeted at a guy called Machine GG on Twitter. I told him, and he didn't pay up. He bet me, I think it was like $100 on Twitter, that this game would be one of the biggest esports and it would continue to grow. And I told him, listen, Shroud might be playing the game, Dr. Disrespect might have played the game, it's got COD 4 Pro mod people playing the game. I told him this game is dead on arrival. He said I was a, quote, retard. I think I've got the tweet saved on my desktop because I looked at it the other day and I just chuckled. And I said, the game's going to die. He said, mate, you don't have a glass ball. You don't know that. I said, I know this game is going to be dead. I said, this game will be guaranteed absolutely stone dead in a year's time. He called me a retard. He bet me $100. It's on Twitter somewhere. There it is. 8 players, 7 players, 7 players. Completely dead. 80 players peaking. It's like, what is it? 12 people in a lobby. It's like 4 games. 4 full games. Probably all from different places in the world. Probably can't fill a lobby up. So why is it dead? The game visually looks pretty crap. Forget that, right? You can improve visuals. It had personalities playing it. It had the scene. It had people promoting it. People talking about it. Why is it dead? Because the game's... It's COD 4 Pro Mod 2.0. And although it's a good game and it's fun, it's same old, same old. You know? Having cool video editors, having cool retweets and all that doesn't really help. At the end of the day, every single game is going to have a tiny percent of content creators, and then a tiny few percent are going to be cool enough, impressive enough, whatever, good personality, interesting content, unique take on it. They're going to blow up. They're going to blow up regardless if a developer helps them. But there's always a small percent of people that make content, and yeah, some tools could help Gears players, but I just think the main problem is there's no players. And there are no players because the game at launch didn't resonate with the core fans. That's really it. And it also hasn't innovated. You know, if the next Gears 6 comes out and TC retweet everything, and TC, TC retweet everything, they have scenes, they have top 10 clips, the top 10, the number one clip of the week. Every single week they win a Razer keyboard, a Gears of War Razer keyboard every single week. You know, let's do some calculations here. A Razer keyboard, a Gears of War one, I think is about £80. There's 52 weeks in a year. For £4,000, which is literally nothing to Microsoft and Gears of War, for £4,000, TC every single week could give away a Razer keyboard to the best clip. Now that would help the scene completely, but it's not gonna. It's gonna help the scene that's there. It's not gonna grow the scene. Yeah, the scene might grow a little bit because some people might want to win a keyboard, but ultimately, it's kind of fake propped up, a bit like the esports gear scene. It's a bit fake propped up with skins and money. There's not really a scene there, to be honest. Again, and these type of things, I'd love to do this shit. If I made decent money off YouTube or any sort of money, I'd love to do shit like this, because I don't like, all I'd like in my life is to be comfortable enough with my own situation and then be able to give away money. I'd love to do that shit, man. How awesome would it be to have like £4,000 spare in your bank account and think, you know what, I'm setting that aside for this year's content, and I'm gonna each week give away a keyboard and ship it out. Probably like £500 on shipping. To, you know, I think Shroud, when he came back, made, I think it was like, I think he made about £400,000. You know, Shroud coming back to Twitch, I think made about £400,000, not even mentioning his contract. The guy probably made about 10 million coming back to Twitch. He could set aside £1 million for his content for the year and give away so much shit, but they don't do it. And that's off topic, right? That's off topic. But the point is, yeah, for a little bit of money, TC probably could do something, and they probably should. But, like, the main issue is the game hasn't innovated for me. It needs to do something proper. It needs to create a massive PvE experience. You're in a tower, those waves of horde, endless horde coming at you. You're boarding up windows. You're protecting buildings. You're surviving wave after wave. It's getting more and more increasingly difficult. There's secrets. There's, you know, like the ray gun secret. People have these crazy five co-op experiences, stream highlights with playing with randoms, and, you know, suddenly a Swarmac breaks through the window behind you. I can see cool highlights and fun. It's not. It's the same old horde that we've seen in Gears 2, basically, Gears 3. Nothing's really changed. It's improved a bit, but it's not really changed. So yeah, the game needs to innovate. That's the main problem for me. I'm not even worried about TC not helping, because most games companies don't. I don't really think... You know, the reason these clans are probably dead is because they're just bored of the game, and they don't get views because the overall scene's dead. It's not just the montage scene that's dead, or the it's just, there's just no players, and there's no players because of those reasons I mentioned. And honestly, yeah, some things could be done, but honestly, in the grand scheme of things, the best thing they could do is just TC just work on the base game and build it up properly, and get people involved in the game in the studio that know what a fun Gears of War game is. Because I think there's some people in that studio that they're just like, they're there to tick a box that they're there. Let's just say that, right? This person's there because they fit this box, this employment tick box. You know, this person's not there because he doesn't have the qualifications, but he might know a lot about Gears, but doesn't fit the box. He doesn't have the qualifications. He's not, you know, you could train people, you could have people, blah blah blah. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, the game lost its way completely, and it's been the same game since, like, it feels like since since Gears 2, the game's been the same. Hell, the game's been the same basically since Gears 1. Yeah, small things have changed, but the game's been the same game. So it's got its core audience, it's got its YouTubers, its montages, but never really innovated. Put it this way, if Gears of War announced a free-to-play battle royale game, fully fledged, I'm not saying that's what they should do. It'd be impossible with the visual fidelity and the way cover works to have a massive battle royale like that. Let's just say for some stupid reason they had like Locust trucks and Dizzy's big rig thing, and it was a huge open world crazy experience. That's going to bring in more content creation than them actually promoting people that are already doing content creation or tweaking the game. And in a way, in that scenario, TC are actually doing less to quote promote content. They've just made a new game and it's already brought in new people. So yeah, again, making a new game, making a battle royale or whatever the hell they do, that's going to bring in way more people to make content and talk about it than it would do actually promoting it, even though TC promoting it is more work. So what I'm trying to say is, in a roundabout way, the game needs to evolve, improve, blah, 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 blah. TC sat tweeting out, giving away some keyboards, doing some stuff. Yeah, they could do it, but it's not the be-all and end-all. So yeah, that was another ramble. If you like these rambles, you can subscribe, you can support, you can like and comment. I don't know. I just kind of wanted to chat. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know, mate. Anyway, that's all I've really got to say. I'm sure I could say something a lot more clever if I wrote it down, but just kind of wanted to chat. So, yeah, cool. Alright, here's some ways to support me if you want. Down below, you can Twitch Prime. Every subscriber helps. As such a small channel, I get literally basically zilch off YouTube. So any subscribers on Twitch helps. If you hit the join button, one member joining is basically like a month's video for me. So if you join, you hit the join button. If you have YouTube Premium, it's free. That basically covers like 10 videos, you know? So becoming a member is huge. You can directly support down there. You can follow wherever. So yeah. Actually, my throat's sore now, so I'm going to shut up. But cool.